Imagine looking back at your 20s and realizing you missed out on tens of thousands of dollars just because of a few mistakes. Does that scare you a little? Well, it should. But here's the good news. Today, we're going to uncover the 5 biggest financial mistakes that hold people back from a wealthy future and exactly how to avoid them. So, if you're in your 20s and you're serious about making wise money moves, stay tuned. Because every decision you make today could shape your financial freedom tomorrow. Now, let's get real. We've all been there, tempted to ignore the future for the sake of enjoying the now. After all, it's your 20s. Who wants to think about retirement or debt, right? But here's the reality. If you fall for some of these common traps, it could take years to recover. Let's get into it, starting with a financial mistake so common, it's almost a rite of passage. Number 1, not starting to save early. I get it. Saving doesn't sound glamorous when you're just starting out. You've got rent, maybe student loans, a social life to keep up, and perhaps even that luxury coffee habit. But here's a truth bomb for you. Time is your greatest ally in wealth building. Think of it this way. If you invest $100 a month starting now, you could potentially have over $150,000 by the time you're 65, assuming modest returns. That's a house down payment, a retirement cushion, or even the start of generational wealth. If you put this off, though, well, let's just say the numbers don't look as nice. Ever thought, I'll start saving when I make more money? Spoiler alert, most people never get around to it. Don't let that be you. So, now that we know why early savings matter, let's look at a trap that can keep you broke, even if you do start saving. Number 2, high interest debt. This one can be brutal. Credit card debt, car loans, or even those buy now, pay later plans seem harmless at first. But here's the harsh truth. Debt is designed to keep you paying and paying for years. Imagine this. You rack up $5,000 in credit card debt. Doesn't sound that bad, right? But with interest rates around 20%, you could end up paying more than double if you only make the minimum payments. That means you're throwing away thousands, money that could have been invested, grown, and worked for you. So, next time you think about swiping your card for that upgrade, ask yourself, is this worth paying for 3 times over? And speaking of paying multiple times over, there's another silent wealth killer that catches way too many people off guard. Number 3, not having an emergency fund. It's not the most exciting financial goal, but life is full of surprises. Some of them not so pleasant. Suddenly losing your job or getting hit with a medical bill. Without an emergency fund, people often fall back on credit cards, putting them right back into the high-interest debt cycle we just talked about. An emergency fund is your financial safety net. It keeps you from spiraling deeper into debt when things go sideways. By the way, remember Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and it's usually when you're least prepared. All right, with a strong emergency fund, you're protected, but there's one more pitfall lurking that often goes unnoticed. Number 4, not investing. If saving is the first step, investing is the game changer. Saving is safe, but investing? That's what builds wealth. Here's a quick fact to excite you. If you invest just $200 a month with a 7% return, you could end up with around $500,000 in 40 years. That's the power of putting your money to work. But if you keep your money in a regular savings account earning almost nothing, inflation is actually decreasing your buying power every year. Let me guess, you're thinking, but isn't investing risky? The real risk is missing out on the compounding effect and letting inflation eat away at your savings. Now, once you start investing, there's one more mistake to avoid, a trap that catches even seasoned investors off guard. Now that you know the top 5 mistakes to avoid, you're in a powerful position.